Hi everyone, my name is Gordon Ching, founder and CEO of Design Executive Council, the premier membership network for corporate design executives based here in San Francisco. We have some very special news on our very first member feature today. Christina Goldschmidt has now been announced as VP Product Design at Warner Music Group, the world's third largest music company with a market capitalization of $16.7 billion as of this recording. They represent some of the biggest names in music, ranging from Madonna to Dua Lipa. Welcome, Christina. I'm so excited to have you here. How are you feeling?
I'm super excited, one, to be on this recording, but also for my new role. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Let's start with your background. How did you end up at WMG? Why WMG?
Yes, so it's very interesting. I've not really ever worked in the music industry before as a designer, but funny enough, I did actually be an intern when I was in college at a independent music label back in DC called Fifth Column Records. And then also, I feel like this is a homecoming for me because my first job out of college was also in the entertainment industry. I was a designer at the Discovery Channel with their original web experiences back in the early 2000s before the dot-com boom. And that homecoming back to entertainment feels really good for me. But the entertainment industry and really the music industry in general is really having this change because of streaming and data. And so when I look at my background and that focus on data in industries like financial services, insurtech, ad tech, that's really, I think, the culmination, plus having worked in technology at Etsy, that leads to this great story about how I can help Warner Music Group with their great opportunities now going forward.
Thinking before you even jump into this role, what's the mission? What's the mandate you were hired for?
I'm really here to help expand what they're doing on their larger product design team. So that's product design, research, and content. And making sure that the team is no longer just thinking about how they can really save costs, but truly provide impact. And that's impact to the business and impact to all of our users. And so that will be things like helping to establish a new org structure, looking at major investments for hiring in support of that org structure, how we're going to balance that with our contractor strategy, and ultimately the right ways of working. So that will be things like collaboration, how we'll truly drive innovation, how we'll fold in our approach to research, all of those things. So how are we going to work as a larger product design team within the organization?
And based on that, what sort of changes you've heightened a little bit about streaming, right? And that impact to the music industry. What are you paying attention about this trend and how does that influence your approach about what's being prioritized at WMG?
Yeah, the streaming industry has forever changed the music industry. And so with digital service providers like Spotify and Apple Music, there's now available all of this rich data and virtually in real time. And so if we think about the changes that have happened to things like financial services and really to the advertising industry, that's the picture one should get in their mind when thinking about the challenges that the record industry is facing right now. And so how are we going to think about what artists need? Not only are they working to have the right social media platforms and content out there to get seen by their fans, but honestly, how do we as a record company know that we're marketing them in the right ways, that we're actually putting them in the right markets at the right time, and making sure that everyone that works in the chain at Warner, be that in sales, be that in marketing, be that in A&R, so people who are scouting and supporting artists and helping them develop their sound, that they really have the insights from all of that data so that we can help artists be their best. And so that ultimately will help the fans, right? So that's going to make sure that everybody gets what they need and that we all will find the music that we love.
So it means I'm going to turn on my apps and find the very best music because of your work.
I hope so.
I
I
hope
hope so.
so.
Yeah.
So currently, WMG ranks as the third largest music company and notably has outpaced its competitors, Universal Music Group and Sony Music Entertainment, with a 22% growth in streaming revenue, now making up 70% of WMG's total income. WMG has a strong innovation culture that reflects in its higher streaming revenue and pace of growth. What sort of early vision do you see to leverage product design, innovation, and data to further amplify WMG's competitive edge?
Yeah, I'm so excited because it's clear that WMG has heavily invested in technology already and that they are really leaning in to data and to technology in order to do this. And for me, being able to bring my background in innovation and design to the forefront here is what it's all about. I really take a design approach to everything that I do, especially when coming into a new place of work. And I think that design can really help determine what is the best culture that we want to have in the larger technology organization so that we can truly help to push innovation and help to leverage this data to its fullest. And then from that, I think it's about making sure that everyone knows how to work, how to leverage data, how to visualize that data, and how to be customer first. And many times those customers are the people who are using the internal products at WMG in order to service that whole value chain that happens within the music industry, making sure that their jobs just get a little bit easier. Maybe when searching for an artist for one type of system, it should be the exact same experience so they don't have to think about redoing it in another system. How can we make that whole process easier and intuitive so that everything becomes seamless and predictable and it's just easier? Leveraging things like AI and machine learning so that we're putting all of that data at work. I think these are all the things that immediately come to mind that there's so much opportunity.
I can only imagine how much data is being generated from those billions and billions of hits every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What do you think from a design leadership standpoint? What kind of type of design leadership do you believe is necessary at this stage of the company and of the design organization?
Yeah, I really think that everything that I've heard so far is that the technology organization is really operating like a startup within WMG. So, needing leaders who are really about being flat, hands on, skilled in their craft, and then truly flexible. So, able to flex as we continue to grow and build out this team as we grow and solve this mission. That's, a utility player, anyone who really has worked in a variety of different ways and at different companies and different types. That's the kind of leadership that I'm trying to build, is that flexibility. And I think that also breeds really good innovation, is that people who can wear multiple hats and do multiple things and collaborate really well.
Given that you have to do that, I imagine for many listeners, you might have to hire. Tell us a little bit about what your plans are, any high level goals that you're seeing.
Yeah, definitely. I think when coming into a role like this and with the mandate that I have, I know that hiring is definitely going to be a part of the job. And so I'm anticipating that we're going to need to build out the team more in order to do all of these things. So I think that means definitely hiring product designers. And I'm still trying to figure out if that means that we're going to hire generalists or specialists, definitely needing that deep strategic knowledge in great UX design and the ability to solve for data, but also really wonderful visual design, because the end user experience matters, right? And making it consumer grade, even on these really complex internal products, matters. But also research, also content, all of these things make great products, and having a well-rounded team and hiring for it, I know, is going to be key on my plate.
You've built several design organizations. What kind of lessons learned from your previous roles do you hope to bring into your new role?
I think it's really all about relationships. So a design org is only as good as the relationships it has with all of the other cross-functional teams that it's working with. And so making sure that I and my team is fostering the best kinds of relationships and collaboration early is super, super important. And then also, I think for me personally, it's about setting myself and the team up for the best first 90 days, because that sort of what happens in your first 90 days lives on in your reputation with you for your entire tenure. So working hard to make sure you have a runway of success and having the right kind of early wins that give you the ability to have the right story about what you're trying to build and do, and lets you make sure that everyone knows what you're there to do. That seems like the best thing that helps the team be successful.
And you're a founding member of the Design Executive Council amongst a very small group of design executives who are helping us shape the future of design leadership. What do you see is the opportunity here to demonstrate the power of strategic design leadership?
Design really has this ability to influence the culture of a larger team and organization beyond just design. We bring that empathy with us and we think about culture. And so that is actually a very strategic aspect of how a larger team works and functions and delivers value to a company at large. And then simultaneously, really being able to visualize and help people see the vision for the future. You can get people's buy-in and excitement for where we're going. And also seeing the various stages that it takes us to get there so that we don't lose momentum as a team and organization. And also it helps build credibility across a larger company who may not always know what's going to happen or what to expect, or has never seen something like this before. And I think design really holds the keys to help bring that all together and build that kind of excitement and sustained excitement for the long haul.
I think you're highlighting the importance of excitement. And I think about, you must be so excited as you're starting this new role. Looking back, what advice would you almost give yourself for starting a big job like this?
Yeah, it actually brings me back to one of my missions, which is to help foster good mental health. And I think the main thing that I'm trying to tell myself is the anxiety coupled with that excitement that I'm feeling is actually really good anxiety. That I know that I have the skills to do this, that I'm joining a team of really wonderful, smart, fun, engaged people, both on the team, the design team, and the technology organization as a whole, and Warner Music Group as a whole. And that I'm going to learn so much doing this, and that I'm going to be able to pull from so much of my background, things that I don't even know that I'm going to need to pull from, and that it's going to be really an exciting experience. And that bringing all of those things together is going to help us transform something. And so that's really what I'm telling myself, is that just those butterflies are good butterflies, and they're going to keep me on my toes.
I feel those butterflies for you, and we're so grateful for your passion around mental health. This concludes our recording here, and thank you so much for being with us today. It's such a delight to announce this exciting moment for you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Gordon. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Christina. If you enjoyed this interview with Christina, I encourage you to subscribe and follow along. The Design Executive is a publication from the Design Executive Council focused on design-driven insights, analysis, and stories on modern business leadership. See you next time.